Alright everyone, today is the day. We are going to be going over gain stacking, how John Mayer uses it, and why it is probably the most important part of getting that insane, amazing lead tone that we all love from John. So we're going to get right on into the video. So what is gain stacking for those of you who don't quite know? I'm going to try and give the simplest explanation here in my own words. Basically, if you have one overdrive pedal set a certain way for when you turn it on and off, you then have another overdrive pedal set, again, a different way. When you turn it on and off, you get a different overdriven sound compared to the other overdrive pedal that you had before it. Now, when you turn both of them on at the same time, you actually get a third sound by stacking the first overdrive pedal into the other. This gives you, in general, usually a fatter sound, more gain, and just a bigger lead sound or overdriven sound than you could have had with both of the pedals turned on individually. So that essentially is gain stacking. When you have multiple overdrive pedals that give you different overdriven sounds individually, but you add them together to create a whole new sound that you couldn't get with either one of them on individually. So with that out of the way, the main kind of basic principle of gain stacking, why is it so important for the Mayer lead sound thing? Now, I want you guys to think in your head of your favorite Mayer solo. Do you have it? I'm willing to bet that it involves gain stacking. Why is that? Because pretty much every single solo that Mayer does utilizes gain stacking. I'd say 98% of them involve some sort of gain stacking. You have Where the Light Is. Pretty much every single outro solo on Where the Light Is involved gain stacking. Slow Dancing to Burning Room, that amazing outro solo on Where the Light Is. Gain stacking. Slow Dancing to Burning Room on Letterman. Gain stacking. New Light in 2019. Gain stacking. Wild Blue on Colbert that we just saw a couple weeks ago. Gain stacking for that outro solo. Pretty much every single solo that John does involves gain stacking, so it's a very important concept to understand. So if you have been wondering why your Klon style pedal, your Blues Breaker style pedal, your Tube Screamer style pedal on its own doesn't get you that crazy lead sound, part of the reason is because you need to stack it with another overdrive to really get to that level, or at least get you closer to that level than you would with just one overdriven pedal on its own. For today's episode, we're going to be talking about John's primary gain stacking combination, which is the Klon Centaur into the Ibanez TS10. Yes, there are different combinations, but this has been pretty much the primary one since 2008 into the Battle Studies era when John first got the Klon Centaur. Don't worry, I will be doing an episode on the Klon after the TS10 because some of my favorite lead tones actually are with the Klon after. I wasn't a big believer until I heard some of these performances. You're going to hear more about that in a future video, so make sure you've subscribed, rung that bell button to be notified when videos like that will be coming out. But if you're wondering, yes, the order actually does matter. The pedal that you have last in the gain stacking combination actually is the primary voicing, essentially, of your lead tone. So having the Klon after the TS10 or the TS10 after the Klon, for example, you're going to get a bit of a different lead sound because whatever pedal is getting hit by the first overdrive kind of takes over and gives you that main lean sound. Now, of course, when we're talking about gain stacking, how you have each pedal set really impacts the overall sound with both of them together. So when you are setting your pedals, it's important to not only set them for how they sound on their own, but how they sound when they're combined in that gain stacking sound. If you're unhappy with how it sounds with both of them together, you're going to have to tweak one or maybe both of them, maybe the gain or the output, in order to get that lead sound you desire. So it becomes a bit more complicated when you're setting up your pedal. So what I'm going to do to show you guys the difference gain stacking makes to your lead tone, I'm going to play a few different examples of lead solos that John has done with the Klon Centaur into the TS10. I'm going to use the TS10 on its own, then I'm going to do it again with the Klon stacking into the TS10, and you're going to hear quite a difference in how that sounds. I also just realized that this is the first time you guys are really seeing my 2019 World Tour replica board in action. It looks a bit different compared to the video I did way back months ago on building this pedal board. Basically what I'm doing is I'm going to have different replicas of every single leg that I can just swap in and out some pedals and things and change it just like John did. Right now it's kind of set up to be the North American leg because, well, all of my favorite performances from the 2019 World Tour were during the North American leg pretty much. So I'm going with that one, and I just need a couple more pedals, mainly the slide rig and the Solo Dallas Storm, to really round the board off. But kind of cool, you guys are finally getting to see me utilize this pedal board in kind of a way that John would. The sustain and just feel you get as well when you gain stack, oh man, when I held that last note, it just felt like, in the room at least, it could go on forever, and that's just the sound. It's perfection. Perfection. So with the TS10 on its own, it obviously doesn't sound bad. It's kind of the quintessential tube screamery Mayer lead sound. But when you stack the Klon into the TS10, it's a whole different thing. It's so much more powerful and in your face. And in the room, through the JMod cabinet, the punch that you get when you're gain stacking is just next level. It's incredible. So you can really understand live when John really wants to be loud and proud and right in front of the mix. Stacking multiple overdrives gets him there, and that lead sound just takes off. Now, this video on gain stacking wouldn't totally be complete without talking about the Keeley Katana. I've mentioned loads of times before that the Keeley Katana is used as a clean boost as well as a leveler. It kind of depends. But what John would also do with the Keeley Katana is add that in at the very front. So he'd be stacking the Keeley Katana, the Klon Centaur, and then the Ibanez TS10. This just pushes everything a little bit more. It's not going to be a massive volume jump because the Katana isn't set to do this crazy amount of volume jump, but everything's going to fatten up just that much more. You're going to get that much more punch out of your tone and a little bit more gain. You guys are going to see I'm going to do Klon into TS10, and then I'm going to do Keeley Katana into Klon into TS10. I got a little carried away there, but again, adding the katana on just saturates everything a bit more. You get a bit of a volume jump, and it just pushes that gain stacking lead sound into a whole nother level if you add the katana on. Now, obviously there's different times and places you would want to add the katana. It's kind of a feel thing, maybe for a really big outro solo or an intro solo like the Belief one. That's a great spot to have it, or like the slow dancing outro, throw the katana on just to make it another level higher, I guess, in terms of like levels of overdrive. That was with the Providence Delay 80s on, my favorite delay ever. It's absolutely brilliant. I haven't played a Pete Cornish TES, which I'm sure I'd love more, but this thing's incredible and does that TES style delay brilliantly. If you guys want me to do a video talking about the Providence delays, let me know, because they're currently my favorite delays ever. Now, the settings that I've been using for all of these pedals have been pretty standard. I've done a video on the TS10 settings and the Klon settings separately, so if you guys haven't watched them, go give that a watch. These settings I find work for me and work in the combination of gain stacking in mind as well. Obviously, depending on your rig, what other pedals you're running, there is going to be maybe some slight tweaking you need to do in order to get that sound, but this is a ballpark tone that you're going for, and essentially you want those three different levels. You're a Klon kind of doing, or a Bluesbreaker kind of doing a lighter overdrive, not quite clean boost, but not full on overdrive. Your TS10 doing that basic overdrive, think of the Waiting on the World to Change solo, nothing too insane, but then when you stack them on, you get that third level of overdrive and just glorious lead tone. At this point, I know what some of you guys might be thinking. What is that Mesa Flex 5 doing on your board, and why haven't you talked about it yet? That is another video, because John's general gain stacking combination really is the Keeley Katana, the Klon Centaur, and the Ibanez TS10. Primarily just the TS10 and Klon, but I'm going to talk about the third overdrive in another upcoming video as well. And this pretty much rounds off my ultimate guide to how John gain stacks. It's incredibly important, as I hope you guys have seen from this video, and it's a concept that you really need to understand if the John Mayer thing is your kind of holy grail of tone, and that tone is what inspires you the most, like me. It's something you have to really understand and be prepared to work with and work towards. It's not that complicated, but it's so important, and I feel like a lot of people sometimes forget how important gain stacking is. So you guys, if there are any songs you guys want me to actually break down pedal by pedal, this is kind of where I'm starting to work to with some content for the channel, then please comment down below, let me know. If you have any questions regarding Klon versus TS10 or TS10 into Klon, anything like that at all, please leave a comment down below. It also helps the algorithm out, so I would greatly appreciate it. Please give the video a thumbs up if you've learned something, and as always, thank you guys so much for the support with the channel. We are almost at 4,000 subscribers, if not 4,000 by the time this video comes out, which when I started this channel, I honestly didn't think was possible, especially really within a year of being consistent with uploading videos and pushing content out. It's insane, and it means the world to me to hear from you guys. Like, I'll get an Instagram DM saying, hey, just wanted to say thank you so much for helping me out with this tone, or someone will post in the John Mayer Gear Lounge on Facebook. Join if you haven't already. Thanks to Justin for helping me work on my tone. I'm way happier than I've ever been with it. It's just incredible to hear that and to be making an impact for some of you guys on getting that tone, like I've said, that we're all super inspired by, and really that is kind of our holy grail. So thank you so much for all of the support and everything. It's been an incredible journey, and it's only going up from here, you guys. So you guys are awesome. Thank you so much. We'll see you on the next episode.